everybody and welcome to Garden Evolution. Today I'm working on my garden-themed Christmas tree. It's a challenge that I set forth and I challenged garden addicts, soil to margaritas, and Southern entertaining to. And it's a challenge basically where we're decorating our standard Christmas trees with garden-themed decor. So no traditional bulbs and no poinsettias and such like that. And it's all based on things that you'd find in your garden at this time. It could be natural items or it could be store-bought items. As of right now, because we are transitioning our garden to our new house, I don't have really anything to use from outside, so all of my stuff is going to be store-bought, and it's a take on a Victorian style, which flows with the rest of my Christmas decor because I'm very glitzy, I am very over the top, so it kind of flows and doesn't take away, but adds, and it sticks with the theme here. So I'm going to show you a few things that I'm using for the 3.5-foot tree that I'm using here. It's a pre-lit flock tree. It's a standard, I believe it was a Colorado pine that I'm using here, but it's going to sit here on our bar for now, and then it'll go into our kitchen when we move to the new house. So I'll start showing you some of the stuff that I have here. For fillers, because the tree can be somewhat airy here, and especially since we're not using a lot of larger items such as bulbs to fill those areas, I picked up some juniper branches, and these are flocked as well to match with the tree. I picked up some Dusty Millers because you'll always see these. These things are hardy as can be in gardens anymore. But I love these. They're frosted. They've got a little bit of glitter in them, which is nice. So it looks like some frosting has been in this tree. I also picked up a number of glitzy items as well, such as these ivies. They look like ivies, and they're glitter. This one's silver, and then I've got a champagne one. It's like fern leaves. I love these. These look really good draped out of trees. These are from Joann Fabrics. I actually picked these up last year when they had them on sale. And then I'll just repeat these. These ones also came from Joann's as well, the Juniper and the Dusty Miller. I also picked up some branches of hollies. These are frosted as well, as you can see, and they've got some berries and a little bit of shine to them. I love these. Another couple things are these skeleton leaves. Look how pretty these are. And it's like decomposed leaves, but they glittered them and made them really, really pretty. And I picked up these. These came from Joann Fabrics. These were actually last year. I haven't seen any this year, and I'm pretty adamant about going there all the time, so I would have noticed them because I would have picked up more, but they didn't have any. I picked these up at Michael's. These are just some magnolia branches. The full stem is really airy. I can actually show you some of the larger ones over here that I'll be working with. The structure on these are really nice, and when they're in the tree, they add an extra element of dimension, which I really wanted. I also picked up, these were on clearance at Michael's. These were actually part of their fall line. These remind me of gumfrina or some thistle or whatever you want to call these. And then these purple berries, which remind me of beautyberry. Love beautyberry. Contemplated taking these leaves off, but I think I'm going to add them into the tree regardless, because partly I'm on a time restraint. Maybe in the next couple of days I'll take them off if I really feel the need to. This was also at Joann's. It was a very long garland. I've somewhat cut it up because I need it to be able to show you a little easier, but it's ginkgo. It's ginkgo leaves on a garland, and they're gold washed, which is really, really pretty, which also ties in with a number of the other things. They're pretty free-flowing. You can twist them any which way you need to, which I want to obviously be able to see the tops of the leaves. So we're going to drape these in there as some filler as well. And then two more things. I've got our classic icicles to drip off the tree. Since we're not using traditional ornaments, I see ice. Oh, I see ice in the garden, hanging off your gutters, hanging off branches, and hoping you're not getting impaled with them. And then, which you can pick these up anywhere. I mean, I've seen them at Walmart. I actually got these ones at Target. I just happened to come across a box and was like, oh, yeah, I need these. So, and then I picked these up at Pier 1. I love foxtail lilies. This is one thing I don't have in my garden yet, and it's a big must-have now that we're going to be settling down for a long while. But they're crystalled, and they have champagne glitter on them, and they're really tall. So I'm going to use these at the very top of the tree as a more dramatic topper, because I don't do anything mild at all. So um, I think that's pretty much it. I'll show you the Christmas tree skirt when I get there. I had to do a little DIY on it, but I'll show you what I used and how I made it, and show it all put together. But isn't he adorable? I picked him up at a local florist here, gift shop in Akron, and I had to have him. I contemplated doing something with his horns, but I kind of like him in the raw state that he is. He is like a, I think it's a concrete, and then these are wood. But he's a cute little jackalope. Love him, love him. But he's gonna sit at the base of my tree. So let's go ahead and start getting into decorating this tree. So right now I'm going to start with my fillers, which are my juniper branches, and then my dusty millers. So I'm basically using these to fill in random spots in the tree that are a little bit bare. And it's good because these add a lot of texture, but they still blend with the tree, so they're not pulling focus from a lot of the more dramatic elements that I'll be adding into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and start filling this in. I've already got one placed here, and I'm just randomly putting them in here to where I think I need a little more fill. I know not necessarily something's going to be draping there, and I know something's not going to be, like the garland's not going to be in there. I might fill in with more berries and stuff, but it's all about layering your pick. I want to add these in. I love a Dusty Miller. They're just classic. They're a classic annual that you always find out in the garden. And I'm using the smaller ones at the top to add some extra height into this and some fill, because we are going to layer in some of the berries and stuff. And then I'm going to take some of these longer ones and I'm going to place these in through the base area of this. Got just a couple more. I didn't buy very many of these and I knew better. So buy more than you think, take them back, keep your receipt, get the emailed one, because I always lose the receipts and the bags end up in the trash. So next is going to be our garland, and I have two pieces here. One's really, really long because this is going to go around the base area of the tree and wrap up, and then this piece is going to go from here and wrap up as well. So we'll start fitting those in. This looks like this side puts up. We can adjust these like I told you. They swing around pretty easily. They actually just had a really good Black Friday sale on these, so hopefully you were out, you maybe got some of these so you can add them to your tree, because they're actually really pretty. I'm glad I got these. So I'm going to go ahead and just tuck it back here in the corner, and then I'm going to bring it up and then drape it in. And I'm tucking it back here, and I'm bringing it back up through the middle, and then finishing it at the top back here. You just see it just a little bit, and we'll get a close-up of that as we start finishing up here. But you can kind of see where I've started it and where it's ending at, and then just manipulating the branches to get them to tuck in there and fluffy. We want the egos to really be seen. Fix this real quick. And now I'm going to start putting in my magnolias, which I have here. I have some longer ones. I kept some that were in full size, as here. And then I have two cut ones that are in smaller sections for fillers that I think they need to be added into. So I'm going to start with my largest one, which is pretty much either one of these. And I'm just going to go ahead and lay these into the tree in the opposite direction of the garland here, and tucking them in to the base, into the tree, and then bringing them to where they come up and into the tree, somewhat like that. Fix a few branches here. This thing laying right, so I want to bring it back a little bit more here. Just nestling those branches. Now the bottom of these. So I just stuck everything in there. Nothing's tied down. Nothing is glued in or anything like that, because I want to be able to reuse these types of things if I decide to change my mind later on, and I can use these on a different tree if I get a bigger tree, which I don't need any more big trees. I've got two other ones. And or if I just decide to change my mind, I want to use those branches, especially the magnolias. If I want to use those again, and just like a vase around the house or something like that, I can. Or make a wreath out of it for spring. It all works. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in a lot of the glittery layers of this, which are the fillers such as all these really pretty silver ivies, and then I've got those skeleton leaves, hollies, and then I've also got the ferns, which I'm going to actually start with those because those are a little bit larger and they are more of a draping effect. I'm going to layer those fern pieces underneath a lot of these juniper pieces as well. So where did my group go? Those under here. Got a lot of Christmas decor on this table right now in front of me. So I've got 4 more pieces, so I'm just going to evenly distribute those around. I'm going to use some of this Dusty Miller and drape into the magnolias to draw some extra attention to those. Got a couple more pieces here. We're going to tape one, and we're going to put one front and center because who doesn't like some glitz? And then I need some on this side, so I'm going to take those and put this up about midnight right here. But I'm going to take it over the garland because I'm trying to hide some of the stems that you can see over here. So now that I've got those in, I'm going to go ahead and start adding in those silver ivy pieces that I showed you a little bit ago. And I'm going to put them underneath some of the other floral picks that I was using for fillers to add drama to them. Now, remember that the base of your tree, you really want to add dimension, and that means layering in stuff. Use draping floral picks and stuff like that to your advantage. I'm going to use some standing up so I get some extra drama for the topper area. You can bend these still so you can get these to cascade up and out of the tree as well. To add some extra danglage if you want to maybe add the icicles onto that area later on, or if you do want to add ornaments. This was just a challenge where we didn't use ornaments, but you still can. And actually, I think a lot of really pretty silver and matte gold bulbs would look really pretty in this, but it's not the challenge, so I'm not going to use them, but I might show you some. Anyway, so just go ahead and keep layering these pieces in. They don't have to be anywhere specific. You're just using them as somewhat as a secondary filler, but they're more of a shiny filler, so you have to be a little more careful so you don't have too much glitz in your tree. And I can't believe I just said too much, because that's never a word for me. That's usually what I'm drawn to when it comes to my Christmas trees, is more glitter, the better. I call this the Christmas herpes. Keeps on giving, keeps on showing up everywhere. It's horrible. But it's so pretty. So just keep adding them in, getting them to spew out in areas, because that'll add more drama and a better sense of organicness to the tree, in my opinion. I like a layered tree that's rather free-flowing and easygoing, because there's so many things that we're adding into them that it becomes rather columnar. And I get that's what a tree looks like, but that's the fun of decorating a tree, is to get it to look more whimsical. Christmas is a whimsical time, and especially as gardeners who put so much flamboyant stuff as far as colors and textures and stuff like that, it's fun to do that in the Christmas tree as well. So I'm just going to tuck in a few more little picks here, overlapping stuff. You know, we know that adding more to more layers on stuff really adds to the look of the garden, and it's the same way with your Christmas tree. Just keep adding more layers to it till you feel comfortable. So next is going to be my skeleton flowers here. I've got them in a number of lengths, and I'm going to just go ahead and start tucking them in. I've actually had these for a really long time, so pretty much they're starting to crumble. I might have to put some new tape on them. I realize I'm out of frame now, but I'm just going to go ahead and start Oh, that one's bad. I'm going to go ahead and just start layering these in as well. And these will just help really finish it off. This is, I think, this is pretty much all the glitziness I'm adding into the tree. We'll put one right here. What I love about decorating a Christmas tree, and very much like your garden, is there's really no no problem in just trying stuff. I mean, no tree is going to look the same, no garden is going to look the same, and everybody's going to do it a little different, but in the end, they're also beautiful. And there's so many things that you can do and appreciate in a garden, no matter what style you're going with, whether it be a very modern garden or a cottage garden, which is mostly like ours, or where we're going to start transitioning into some more formal gardens in in our new house. And I don't think I want that up there. Lost my train of thought, but it's it's just like everybody's Christmas style. There's beauty in all of it, and there's no wrong way to do it as long as you're enjoying it. And that's the main thing to remember and appreciate and live by on a daily when you're a gardener is just enjoy it. This is your place of haven and your place of beauty that you got to create and you took the time to nurture. And that's why I got into it. It's a really good. It's not cheaper than therapy. I don't care what they say. I buy more plants than I would at going and seeing a doctor. But I'm just going to keep adding some more of this stuff in there, like I keep adding to my garden, and hope for the best. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit more. Oops, go ahead and stick this guy right up in here. I'm going to need some face layer for this. Oh. So the next thing I'm going to add is all of my holly real quick. I realize this video is taking a long time, but I'm trying. So I'm just going to keep filling these in to the look of them in the tree. But I want them sticking out a little bit because I want a little more natural avant-garde look to where it's more three-dimensional than the tree coming up and in. And it's a little Victorian. It's a little dramatic to go with it. So I've got another branch here. I'm going to go ahead and place that in this section back here. And bring it up in through. I'll bring that one down a little bit more into this back section. Making sure I show my sweet, Dusty Millers right here. So you can see I've kind of got a lot going on here. I'm going to twist this branch up and bring it up into this area so we don't have too much cluster in here. But you can kind of see the look it's got going on now. And then we have another section right here, and I'm going to just tuck that back into here and bring it up front, which will then add on the beauty berries. Okay, so pretty much I forgot where I was at. I got a light over here. I've got just our topper to do, which I've got about five of these foxtail lily crystal thingies that I picked up at Pier 1. These were originally, I don't know, they were 20% off. I think I ended up paying $5 a piece for them, which wasn't bad. I think that maybe, no, they were $7 a piece. I paid $35 for all of these. We thought about doing a budget cap, and I'm glad we didn't because I bought these. And I was like, well, we're just going to do $50. $35. Later, I wouldn't have had anything on this tree had I used these, so I'm glad we decided to do what you could afford. And this tree didn't really cost that much, so don't think I'm like one of the budget crazy here. But I'm just taking these and I'm just going to slide them through down the center of the tree here at the very top, and I'm running them down the center where these stems. You want to keep them long because this is going to give them the much needed support in the top of the tree so they don't fall down, and that they can give that bit of whimsy and be able to drape in different directions. Um, I'm sure you've seen a lot on Pinterest where you see the real big spirals and feathers and other floral pixels you'll see that add to the top. This is the same thing, except for I'm not using a lot of extra other little things. I'm just using these and I'm centering the focus around these. So I'm going to keep placing these. Easy peasy. So make sure one is going exactly straight up so you can place that one in the tree itself. And the one that's going to be your dead center, I'm going to put it right here, and then I'm wrapping the tip of the tree around it and put back down, and then I'm going to push those lights back in, manipulating the top so that there's some light that's going up. And then I'm going to run around to the back and I'm going to put these in. Okay, last one. Okay. Check it. Looks good. Looks good. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add in the final touches to the tree, which are just my ornaments, which are just some clear icicles. I got a handful of them, and I'm going to use some at the base. Just quickly tying them on. All right, now it goes to the base of the tree, which is our tree skirt. I'll show you what I got here. So this was a placemat. Not very good idea. This is a placemat. There's two of them here that I had hot glued together, and then I put glue on them, and I took some glitter, the white crystal glitter, to make it look like it had been frosted. You can see right here where I glued them. Starting to come apart a little bit. Geez, I didn't do such a good job. Where I glued them to make them more of a full skirt. So that's just going to go right up underneath here, and it kind of bunches up to give it more of a natural, like the tree has been sitting in for ages and stuff like that. I'm going to give it a little tilt here so you can kind of see that. Let me redirect my light. Okay. And then I also picked up a grapevine. Actually, this was from the thrift store. I found this at the thrift store. It is grapevine, but it reminded me of coral bells. Look at those leaves. Do they not remind you of coral bells? Minus the little wispies. But I'm just going to set that back here. And then place my jackalope because he's absolutely amazing. He's just going to go right here. So let me give you a quick tour of everything that I got going on here. All right, guys, so here it is. This is the placemat that I used, and you can see where I have hot glued it, and I've layered in some more of the pieces that I took out to where I made the cut. Actually, this one's not laying where it's supposed to be. Our kitties have apparently been up here, but you can see that dimension with the dangling ornaments of the icicles. You can kind of see how the whole thing has come together. It's actually really, really pretty. It's not too much. It's kind of got a Victorian vibe to it. We have the beautiful magnolias, which we can still manipulate around to get the sit right. Actually, that worked out perfectly. Look at that. Little to no effort. I'm probably going to tweak this spot a little bit further. I'm not happy with the fact that it's not full enough. But for now, it looks really, really good. A Christmas tree comes together after about a week of playing around with it, and you'll start moving stuff around. It's inevitable. That's just how it is. Nobody's happy with their tree until the day before Christmas, and that's when it matters because that's when everybody's over. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, It's a fun little challenge that we set up with the other gardeners. I'm going to link their profiles right down in the description for you. So go ahead and check them out. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our post here at Garden Evolution. And then go check out Garden Addicts, Southern Entertaining, and Soils of Margarita. And enjoy their Christmas trees as well. And see what they have done for the garden tree themed challenge. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.